What is happening in Sri Lanka? Why are the people suffering? If you want to drink a tea with milk added in it, it can cost you 350 rupees. How many of the people in Sri Lanka can afford such a tea, where such teas are only available in 5-star hotels? And if you want to buy 1 kilo of rice or 1 kilo of wheat, just take 200 plus rupees in your hand. And if you want to buy 1 kilo of apples, it can cost you 1000 rupees. And I said, milk is nowhere to be seen. It has become a luxury. And there is obviously substitutes for that. And milk powder. If you want to buy a milk powder for 1 kilo, it can even cost you 1900 plus. What is really happening in Sri Lanka? The international media is all looking at Sri Lanka. You know that there is an emergency declared. There is huge inflation happening. Apart from that, you can see big long queues to buy petrol, diesel, to fuel up your vehicles. And you can see murders happening in the petrol bunks. Why is such a scary situation existing in Sri Lanka? What has really gone wrong? There was no power in Sri Lanka for 7 days. A complete blackout. Possibly one of the biggest, longest time duration ever witnessed in Sri Lanka. If you can see the same time duration or same power cut in some other countries, you can witness murders and robberies. What is really happening in Sri Lanka? In this LearnStroke's ExplainWallah with Arjun and Shaankar, let's discuss the story of Sri Lankan crisis and understand what really is happening in this country. Whatever has happened, the Sri Lanka is actually in a very bad shape. Whether it is an economic problem or inflation coming up, the price rise, the people are really suffering. We have discussed what all commodities have gone up. You'll be astonished to know that the Sri Lankan government has cancelled all the examinations. You know why? Only because there is a paper shortage. There are no papers to be printed. The government has cancelled the whole examination. It's as serious as that. So this brings us to the story of Sri Lankan crisis and why this is happening. Before you understand the Sri Lankan crisis, let's imagine. We've all heard about the concept of globalization. The whole world coming into the single market. Imagine, I'm going to narrate the story. Imagine that all the countries are like small or big houses in a residential area, or say a residential colony, residential complex, or in a township. There are different houses, big houses, small houses, and even big palaces. And imagine that there is a house called United States of America, which is not a house, which is a big palace. And there is a Russia, which is again a big palace. And you have India house, which is a big mansion. And you have China, which is again a big palatial palace. Small palaces like Maldives, and a small house called Sri Lanka. So there are different houses in a single residential area. And here we have the house called Sri Lanka. The whole story is actually revolving around this house called the Sri Lankan house. And inside the house, there are different sons, daughters, parents, like the Prime Minister, President. There are different people who live inside that Sri Lankan house. And how do you sustain? We all live in the same area. How does the Sri Lankan house exist? You know that in order to exist as a family or as a person, you need money. Money is everything. You need money to spend, money to live on. Likewise, Sri Lankan house also needs money. Where is this money going to come? You have to work. If you need money, you have to work. So the Sri Lankan house has to generate money. So what will it do? One idea. It can sell the famous Ceylon tea. Imagine that Sri Lanka is actually selling a big jar of Ceylon tea or coffee. A big jar. It is actually selling this tea to another nearest house called India. What happens? India will take the jar of tea and it will give money. Wow, revenue for Sri Lankan house. It can even sell it to China. They will also give money. So this is what is, Sri Lanka is generating money. In simple terms, this can be called as exports. You give out the jar of tea. You can even give out, a different type of chemical that is being produced in Sri Lanka. You can sell different concepts to different houses nearby you. And all these houses will actually give you money. This is your revenue. And obviously, everything cannot be made from your house. You have to buy something from the other houses. Say you don't have the food supply. You will buy food, cereals, lentils from a nearby house called India. When you buy it from India, what will happen? You'll have to pay money to India to get it. So that is an import. And again, you need to buy fuel. You need to get it from Russia. What will you do? You'll give money to Russia and Russia will give you the things. So that becomes an import. So as a house, you get money, you give money out. And imagine, just imagine, we are generating as a house, as a Sri Lankan house, we are generating a money, say a monthly revenue of 1,000 rupees. I'm getting, so as a Sri Lankan house, I'm getting 1,000 rupees and I have an expenditure. When you get 1,000 rupees, my house, the people in my house are creating an expenditure of 1 lakh. Just imagine, 1 lakh. That means you're getting 1,000 rupees by selling the things you're getting, that is your revenue, but your expenditure is 1 lakh. So 99,000 is a deficit. How are you going to manage this deficit? Because you don't have 99,000. What will you do? Your Sri Lankan house is in trouble. What will you do? You'll obviously ask for help. You might even go to the Chinese house and ask, I have some problem, I have 99,000 problem deficit. Can you please help us? They will give the loan. Then you might even go to India or Japan or United States of America asking for help. They might also give you some money. And for the time being, your problem is solved. You have taken money from different houses. Second month comes or third month comes, your income is just 1,000 rupees. But your expenditure is not 1 lakh, it has increased to 2 lakhs. Wow. What a rise in that. 1,99,000 is the deficit. Where are you going to get this money? You're going to get this money. Again, you will ask to China, Japan, India, or even the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, please help us with the money. They will give you the money. And with this money, what will you do? You will start buying food, paper, medical stuff, pharmaceuticals, milk powder, or anything from around the world using this money, which is called as the foreign exchange, the forex. That is the power or the money which you cannot buy the oil from Russia by paying rupees. You have to give the foreign exchange. Likewise, the Sri Lankan house has used this foreign money, which they have borrowed it from different countries, to buy out different things from different places. And now you will realize that after a huge deficit, there is no income coming, there is only expenditure. At one stage, the Sri Lankan foreign exchange has decreased heavily. It is close to 70% drop. For more than $7.5 billion it has come down to just 2.8 or even lesser than that. The foreign exchange of Sri Lanka has dropped completely. No money. Then how will you buy from America?